Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a straitjacket, exactly the type of thing that would have been found in the early 1900s. I also have Nelson here who is going to place me in the straitjacket. So Nelson, if you will. The straitjacket goes on exactly the opposite of a normal jacket. What would typically be in the front, the fasteners go to the back. Now, the straitjacket itself was invented in 1790 by an upholsterer. It was created as a method for treating mental illness as well as a way to protect hospital staff, fellow inmates, and out-of-control patients from themselves. When it was designed, it was believed to be impossible to escape from such a device. Now, once the four buckles on the back are secured, the next step are the arms get crossed. There you go, work your way around the back and get that nice and secure as well. All right, and you get, enthusiasm, that's very good. All right, the last step is the slightly uncomfortable part. I will kick that back to you, and if you will, get that nice and secure. Just secure is fine. All right, thank you very much. Oh, all right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask you to imagine for the next few moments that you are a young child who feels trapped inside your own body. The 7-year-old was sitting on the passenger side next to his dad as they traveled across town. As they went to school, he was constantly rubbing his chin against his collarbone, and he couldn't stop doing it. His neck was starting to get red and irritated. And even though he wanted to, for some strange reason, he just couldn't stop doing it. He kept doing it over and over and over. We're going to fast forward 6 years, and the 13-year-old was sitting in a doctor's office. He had seen numerous doctors before, but none of them really knew what the problem was. There were talks of ADD and OCD, but this doctor was different. This pediatric neurologist knew exactly what the problem was. It was an uncontrollable movement disorder called Tourette's syndrome. And she started the young man on medication that did little to stop the annoying tics, twitches, and vocalizations. Three years later, the 16-year-old was focused reading a script. He'd never seen a script before, much less auditioned for a play. In fact, to some of his friends, it was ridiculous and mind-boggling that a teenage guy would want to step in front of an entire group of people, his peers. Because what if the tics started up again? What if he started twitching? He would undoubtedly be made fun of for the rest of his time in school. They thought his dream of being a professional entertainer, impossible. Present day, the 43-year-old man who had performed literally around the world for military bases and in performing arts centers and for private events stood on the side of the stage, and he thought it was strange. He thought it was odd that he had both a genuine talent and a genuine passion for performing for live audiences, and he also had this uncontrollable movement disorder. He thought it was odd that the moment he took the stage at that play in high school, his tics and twitches vanished. And then he stepped out on stage before you here tonight.
Jason Michaels, that's your story.
That's my story.
You grew up with Tourette's.
Yes.
So you had this vocal tic and physical things that were happening to you. I'm sure You were probably made fun of by other kids at school.
Yeah, a little bit, absolutely. I mean, that type of thing happens to lots of different kids. I was very fortunate that I grew up in a fantastic family, always was supported. But yes, I mean, and it's still, strangely enough, even as a 43-year-old guy, people still sometimes say things to me because they don't know what it is. It's a very odd thing when it happens, and they just are taken aback, and so they say things. And the last thing that I ever wanted was to be embarrassed or alienated, but you know, it did happen.
Now you go all over the world. You do magic and sleight of hand. Could you do some sleight of hand with me, for example?
Oh, right now? I like it. You know what?
See what
I absolutely can.
Maybe a trick of some type.
All right, so I just happen to have a deck of cards here. So what we'll do, Governor, is we'll do something that's actually pretty quick and it's pretty straightforward. This is how I got started. Something as simple as selecting a card and then trying to find the card. So you get the choice of any one that you would like.
Any card. Pick a card, any card.
Absolutely. Once you take it.
That little card right
there.
Okay,
so what I will do is I will shield my eyes, but if you will just take a peek and share it with anybody who wants to see it.
I'm going to hold it up there for the audience to see, but he can't see.
I'm looking straight down. I can't see a thing. Tell me when I'm good.
It.
Okay, so, and do remember it or else this thing's going downhill pretty fast. So,
yes.
If you will place the card back for me, what I'm going to attempt to do here is I am going to attempt to find your card using a little bit of touch. Sleight of hand is about technique and dexterity. And if I have been able to use the technique and dexterity to find your card where you placed it near the center and get it out of the top, you probably wouldn't want to play cards with somebody who could do this.
Probably not.
There's a private game going on after the show.
I'm sure there is, and I'm not in it, that's for sure.
Do me a favor, hold your hand out for me. The fact that I can get your card, what is that? The Queen of Spades. That is only slightly impressive. Here's what's more important. Well, first off, that was your card, yes, the Queen of Spades?
No.
No, did you not pick the Queen of Spades?
I did not pick
okay, what was the card? What was the card? Yours?
Mine was the Queen of Clubs.
Oh, interestingly enough, if I snap my fingers and we turn this over, it changes
No,
to
he did not.
Queen of Clubs.
Whoa!
That's right.
You see, I want to know how you did that, because I'm holding this card, and it was the Queen of Spades, pal.
That's why magic is so much fun.
It is so much fun. And that audience, you saw it, right? Yes. And I'd never did this before with him, so that's pretty impressive.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it.
I'm going to give your card back.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
But I'm going to tell our audience they need to drop by Jason's website, jasonmichaelsmagic.com. That's jasonmichaelsmagic.com. You can see a lot more of this great illusionist and his sleight of hand work, as well as discover where to see him live as he's traveling. You can also get a copy of his inspiring book, You Can Do the Impossible Too. Now, you can't do the card tricks, but you can do the impossible. There's a big difference. And it's all at jasonmichaelsmagic.com.